Welcome to Whisper Hex. Tonight, I'll guide you into a place no one has walked out of whole. A place that doesn't keep your body, only your voice. They call it the archive. If you hear a voice that sounds like your own, don't answer it, because if you do, you'll never speak again. Daniel Holt, a historian, is drawn to a forgotten library in an abandoned district. His colleague, Professor Blake, disappeared 6 months earlier. Blake's last note: the archive is real. The library looms, chained shut, its windows black. Daniel forces his way in through a side door. The air tastes of mold and dust. He finds the basement stairwell hidden behind a shelf of collapsed encyclopedias. The wooden steps groan under his weight. Each footstep echoes twice, once from him, once from something a step behind. At the bottom, a corridor lined with shelves, but instead of books, there are jars. Hundreds of glass jars, stacked like volumes. Inside each one swirls a faint shadow, moving like smoke. Daniel leans close. The jars whisper, fragments of conversation, screams, pleas, songs broken mid-note. And then one jar whispers, Daniel. Daniel enters a vast chamber, the reading room. Tables are covered with journals, but the pages are blank. Yet, when he opens one, the pages begin to fill with words written in real time. You shouldn't have come here. Daniel. The lamps flicker. On the walls are murals of faceless people pressing their hands against painted glass. Their mouths open, screaming silently. In the corners of the room, he hears laughter. Children's laughter. Then silence. Then breathing. He finds a torn scrap of Blake's handwriting. Every word we speak is written here. Every silence is kept. The archive has no end. When Daniel closes the journal, the whispers grow louder. They now chant, stay, stay, stay. Daniel reaches a rotunda, where a massive desk sits, covered in parchment. Behind it, a tall figure writes endlessly. Its face is featureless. Its fingers are long, dipped in black ink that drips onto the floor. This is the archivist. Every stroke of its pen pulls a voice from the air, sealing it onto the page. Daniel hears a scream overhead, then sees words etch themselves onto parchment. The scream cuts off. The paper is added to a stack. Daniel whispers, Blake. The archivist stops writing. It lifts its faceless head. Then, in a dozen stolen voices all layered together, it answers. He gave his voice to stay. You will too. Daniel runs. Behind him, the scratching of quills grows louder, faster, as if the entire archive is writing him into itself. At last, Daniel finds the vault, a cavern filled with towers of jars stretching up into the blackness above. Some jars glow faintly, others rattle as if something inside is still alive. He picks one up. Inside, he hears Blake's voice. Daniel, please, it hurts. The jar grows hot in his hand. He drops it. It doesn't shatter. Instead, it absorbs into the stone floor, vanishing. The shelves begin to hum. Every jar vibrates. The voices rise in chorus, deafening, 1,000 souls calling out for release. In the center of the vault is a great recording device, part reel-to-reel, part gramophone, part something older. It spins on its own. The tape inside is blank. But as Daniel listens, his own words from earlier in the night echo back. The archive has already begun recording him. Daniel tries to scream, but his voice falters, growing weaker, fainter. Each word he speaks is immediately repeated back by the machine, but thinner, hollower, as if being stolen. He claws at his throat, but nothing comes out. His voice is gone. On the desk in front of him, words etch themselves into the paper. Daniel Holt, voice number 14,673. The archivist appears again. It places a new jar on the shelf. Inside it, a faint wisp swirls, Daniel's voice. The last sound we hear is his own whisper, repeating endlessly from the jar. Please, let me out. The archive is endless. Every word you've ever spoken is already waiting on its shelves, and tonight, one more voice was added. His, but maybe. Yours is next. If you can still hear my voice, it means yours hasn't been taken yet. Subscribe to Whisper Hex now, before the archivist writes your name. Like this video, share it, and drop a comment. I still have my voice. If you survive to the end, but speak carefully. You never know who's listening and recording.